Hi, welcome to Sue Marie P. Are you searching for a super moist chocolate cake with maybe a touch of mint? I'd like to share my mint chocolate cake recipe that's super easy, and I'm going to top it with frosting and some crushed Aero bar. So if you'd like to see this video, come with me and let's see. So the first step, I've melted 250 grams of butter. I usually use unsalted butter in cakes, but I ran out. So I'm just using salted butter. So I'm going to pop that in my stand mixer. So we'll get that mixing. So I've got 250 grams of melted butter. I melted that before we started filming, so it's cooled slightly, which is perfect. So we're just going to pop that in, and we've got some dark brown sugar. You can also use light brown sugar if you don't have dark brown sugar on hand. So just going to check my measurements. So we have 200 grams of dark brown sugar. I'm just going to whisk that together with 2 eggs. So while that's mixing together, I'm using 300 grams of flour. I'm using spelt flour because that's my favorite flour. And then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of bicarb soda. If you don't have bicarb soda, you can use baking powder. And then I've got a combination of a few different spices here, just to give it a little bit of interest. So I've got half a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of ginger powder, half a teaspoon of mixed spice, and just a hint of cardamom, 1/4 teaspoon. So I'm adding that to my flour as well. And then we're going to add 50 grams of cocoa powder. I'm not going to sift it today. It's not completely necessary, but I'm going to whisk it. So I'm just going to whisk that so that it's all combined. So let's have a look at this. Okay, so that's all mixed and looking wonderful. So now we're going to add this once I've just finished whisking it. Just on low until it's combined. Okay, it's almost looking like a brownie mix. For something different, I'm going to add 250 mils of coffee. So it's strong black coffee. I've cheated and used a coffee bag today. But you can use instant coffee, or if you don't like coffee, you can swap it out for water, or you can add a little bit more milk. And the other thing I'm adding is just 2 tablespoonfuls of milk. I'm using oat milk because that's what I have here, but you can use regular whole milk. So just mix all that together, but don't over mix it, just on low. I've just stopped the mixer, and I'm going to just help make sure all of the flour mix is away from the sides. You might be thinking at this stage, oh no, the mix looks really runny, but once it's cooked, it'll be perfect. So we just mix that for a few more minutes. And I've prepared a square tin. I'm doing it in this, which is my brownie tin, and I've just lined it with some baking paper. I like doing it in this tin for this style of cake because I can chop half, ice it, and then freeze the other half. That's looking good. Now we're going to pop it into our baking tin and cook it for 30 to 40 minutes. No, 35 to 40 minutes. You'll be surprised how light and fluffy and moist this cake is once it's all cooked. That's it. Now we're just going to pop that in our oven. I've had the oven preheating on 170 degrees. So let's just cook that for 35 minutes and then we'll check it. It's just gone 35 minutes. I've popped the cake out of the oven to check it, and voila, the skewer comes out clean. So that's ready. Now we'll let it cool for 2 hours, and then we'll pop back to do the frosting and the fancy little crunched up peppermint bits. So we're back to ice the cake. It's all cool. We've left it for about 2 hours. So I've got some icing sugar here. I don't like a lot of icing, so it's going to be a lightly iced cake with chocolate peppermint icing. So I've got 115 grams of sifted icing sugar here, and I've got 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder. So I'm just going to combine that together. And then we're going to add, we've got 50 grams of butter here, which has been softened. I'm just going to add that together and whisk that until combined. If you like a thick layer of icing, double the recipe, but mine's going to be a thin layer with the crunched up Aero bar. So I sifted the icing sugar and the cocoa powder. You can also use an electric beater if you want to do this with an electric beater. And then we'll add, we've got 3 tablespoons of milk here. I'm using oat milk because that's what I've got on hand, but you can use regular full cream milk. You just want to beat that until it's smooth. There you go, that's my simple icing. So I've got an icing or a palette knife here. So what I'll do is I'm going to scoop the icing out. We're just icing the very top layer. That's it. And then I've got this chopped up Aero Bar. Aero Bar looks like this. It's a Nestle or Nestle's product. And I've just chopped it up with a knife and we're just going to sprinkle that on top. If you can't get Aero Bar in your country, just be creative and use something else. So here you have it, my Choc Mint Moist Cake. Thank you for watching. If you've liked my video today, share it with a friend, hit the like button, the thumbs up, write a comment below, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And don't forget, hit the bell, and then you get notified as soon as I have a new video. I'll see you next time. Bye.